Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. So I was recently thinking about different types of videos I could make, trying to think of something a little bit different, and I realized, I could do like a collaboration of the different figures that are out currently for different species in Jurassic World Rebirth, because, of course, with the release of the film, there's a lot of excitement around that franchise right now, and I figured it would be pretty fun if I were to make a few different videos, especially as far as the ones that I personally already have, showcasing just the different versions of different species that are available currently. So if you happen to have missed some of the reviews, then you can know what versions of that creature are out there for you to kind of search out. So we're going to go with the D-Rex first, and we might as well start with the smallest one of all, which is this. This is the Micro D-Rex. This is part of the Ultimate Mosasaurus playset, and you can acquire this one in that playset along with quite a few other figures like the Spinosaurus and everything in there. But this one is pretty cool. It's definitely, as I said, the smallest D-Rex we've had so far. It's not the greatest as far as the sculpt or paint or anything, but it is a pretty cool release. Just as the name says, it's quite micro. As we gain a little bit more size with our D-Rex, we move on to these. These are the Toy Monster International Captivz versions. There are 3 different versions of this D-Rex, one of which you can see is this metallic version, which unfortunately is not a part of the line here in the United States, so that's one you might have to try finding on eBay or somewhere like that to actually acquire. But the 2 versions that are available here in the United States, one of which is this, which is the flocked version. Basically, it's just a fuzzy version of the D-Rex, so the same sculpt as the metallic version and the standard version, just fuzzy. And then of course the standard version itself, which you can see here, which does have a little bit more of a lifelike and realistic sort of a paint job, giving that D-Rex that nice and dark and gloomy look like you see in Jurassic World Rebirth. But there are the 3 different versions of the D-Rex that are available right now from Toy Monster International in the Jurassic World Rebirth Captivz line. Then as we continue to get a little bit larger, we've also got the Pop Funko version. And this one's pretty fun for what it is. Obviously at this point we have more of an exaggerated look for the D-Rex rather than the more screen-accurate look you might have seen on some of the others, but it is still a pretty cool version, especially if you like those exaggerated and stylized versions of dinosaurs and creatures and stuff like that. You probably would enjoy this one. Not the greatest detail or paint in the world, but that's pretty much the standard when it comes to Pop Funko, but probably one of the cooler Pop Funkos that have come out for Jurassic World Rebirth. Then we move into some unofficial D-Rex figures, because although they're not technically, real, officially licensed, like released through Universal or anything, figures, they're very clearly the D-Rex, so they're getting included. This is the Cretaceous Creations version, sporting kind of like a chibi style, but also a fairly realistic look, and definitely a very nice paint application. This one is probably one of the cooler versions of the D-Rex out there. It's definitely got a very striking look to it, very much so stands out in a sea of other D-Rex figures as being really cool and a good bit different from a lot of the others. Also a little bit more of a serious take while still having a stylized and very exaggerated look. And then probably the ugliest of all the D-Rex so far, there is this thing. This is the crazy bootleg version, or I don't even know if I'd say it's a bootleg, more of like a knockoff version that you can find on Walmart from time to time. It's not really good at all. Like, it's very childish and poor as far as the sculpt goes. It just looks super silly. It was obviously based on the Mattel version, but is nowhere near the quality, honestly, of any other D-Rex that I've shown in this video. So pretty poor quality as a whole, but if you are trying to complete your D-Rex collection, maybe something you'll want to search out. Just, again, not really something that I personally recommend grabbing. And then we've got ourselves our second entry from Mattel. We've got this, which is the DISTORTUS Rex Island Escape set version, the second largest of the D-Rex that are out currently. Also, there's a thunderstorm happening right now as I'm filming this video, so it just seems like it's very fitting, I would say, that that would occur while I'm filming a D-Rex video. But this version is probably one of the best overall, and I would honestly say one of my favorites overall, because it is just the D-Rex with straight-up articulation, which makes it more fun, in my opinion. You know, the action features sometimes kind of take away from the posability of the figures, whereas this one has lots of posability because it is just a straight-up articulated version. And again, the sculpt looks excellent. It is very highly detailed and by far one of the best versions of the D-Rex that you are going to find on the market anywhere. And it has actually recently gone up for sale on Target.com. Previously, it was not available here quite yet. I actually purchased mine from Amazon France. So the fact that it is now available for, I think, $53.99 on Target's website will, of course, please many collectors that haven't had the chance to get this one into their collection yet. And then, of course, the largest overall, and the very first one that I had the pleasure of reviewing, again from Mattel, we have the Rumble N Rampage DISTORTUS Rex, and this is the largest one to come so far from Mattel, and definitely one of the best as well. Sculpt-wise, again, pretty much the same sculpt as the other one, just a good bit larger, a little bit different paint apps, more of an action feature as opposed to articulation, but you do have a little bit extra with this one, as you do have a seam for some articulation in the action feature, of course, in the neck. But this one as well, again, is really, really cool, and definitely one of the coolest D-Rex figures that you're going to find on the market anywhere. There is also another version coming from Mattel soon that is actually an RC D-Rex. No idea when that one's releasing. I haven't seen any listings or pre-orders or anything for that one quite yet. Once it does become available, I'll absolutely be grabbing it. But that's my list of DISTORTUS Rex figures that are out available right now. For anybody that's interested, I actually have reviews for every one of these on the channel. So check the Jurassic World Rebirth playlist if you want to see closer looks at any of these guys if you have not seen them yet. And again, if you are interested, I will try my best to include links in the description to where you can purchase each and every one of these figures. Of course, minus, like, you know, the Captivz versions and stuff you'll have to buy in the eggs in store. But either way, they're all really cool except for that weird knockoff version. That one's pretty ugly. But definitely, again, pretty awesome to have so many D-Rex out currently, and who knows how many more we'll have in the future. So in the comment section, let me know what you guys think of these, which one was your favorite, and which ones you might actually have. And of course, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.